Read it.
Bearing repack, period 5, David P. and Mr. F. 79 Toyota pickup.
And you forget. I don't want my face in that.
I didn't put it in.
You failed to mention that we're doing it right now because he destroyed a bearing on the other side, not knowing how to do it. Right?
Total accident.
Yeah. You keep thinking that too. All right. First off, always work clean. Always have a plan. Lay your tools out. I have a pair of channel locks, a pair of dikes, and a dust cap remover. This is a bearing right here. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and just walk you through this, how to pull the bearings out and how to repack it and then readjust them. So if this cap was like a normal cap, which it's not, a lot of times you can't get them off without this tool. This is your dust cap remover. So you usually need to put it on right here, take a hammer and knock it out because they should be tight. Since it's not tight, to make it tight when I reinstall it, all I have to do is give it a little tweak here, a little tweak here, just in 4 places. And now this dust cap will go in nice and snug next time I put it on. Okay, so I work clean, organized. I also lay things out in the order that I take them out on. So now, remove my cotter pin. Okay, with my pair of dikes, I'm going to move this cotter pin, bend it, and this is going to be a throwaway. Don't use that anymore. Then this is just a little cage to keep the adjusting nut from moving. Okay? And notice I'm laying these in the exact order I'm pulling it out because I have a plan. Okay? Now, take my channel locks, loosen it up, spin this off. Got my nut. And inside the nut, behind the nut, is your washer and your inner bearing. Too many people have been not using this washer and they just put the nut back on. That's wrong. You always have this washer and the nut. So I'm going to lay this down and then I'm going to pull my outer bearing out. Now what Mr. Pinniger did wrong last side, that was an accident, he wasn't here in the day that I taught this trick. Because on the inside there's another wheel bearing and a grease seal, and I don't want to have to buy a new grease seal. So normally in the book, it will have a grease seal remover tool. You pull this right here and you pop out your grease seal. But this will destroy the grease seal. So the easier way is put the nut back on. I'm going to put this right on here. I'm going to put it right on the inside and boom, there it goes. Pop it out from the inside by hitting the bearing against the nut, which then pops out my grease seal backwards. In this way, I could reuse my grease seal and not have to pay $10 for a new grease seal.
Very nifty trick, Mr. F.
Alright, we learned something, didn't we, Mr. Pinniger?
Yes.
Okay, so now, over here, I have, this is the way it goes. It's going to be dust cap, cotter pin, adjuster nut, always the washer, and this bearing, the cone side faces in. That's your inner bearing. The cone side faces in this way, and it pinches this rotor in between. So now we're ready to grease this. So you put a little bit of grease inside here. You should work really clean. Try not to get grease on the rotor like Mr. Pinniger did. Okay. I'm gonna put this all inside here. And what I'm doing is I'm not filling the cavity. I'm just packing the back side of the grease on the inner race right here. So this is the race, just right on the inside. Not too much. Okay, we're good here. So that's ready to go. Now for the bearings, you should go to the solvent tank and clean them. But for right now, we're just going to pack them. So technically, I would want to get all the old grease out and then dry it. Come back here, and now we got to pack it. Inside here is a little, on the bottom side of the bearing is a little space. That's where you pack your bearing, not the center hole. And it's a scraping action, and you should see it's cleaning my hand. So you just keep scraping it, not slapping it, scraping it, working towards the center, and you should start to see it pop, squeeze out the top. And you see how it's squeezing out the top?
Yeah.
Now when it squeezes out the top, rotate it again to where it isn't, and do it again. Rotate it again, do it again. And notice it's cleaning my hand, right? That's what it should do. if you do it properly, because I'm scraping this each time. Okay, that one's done. Let's do the next one. Same thing. This is the inner wear bearing. And you're going to be scraping it. Rotate. And I'm not filling the cavity right here. I'm filling the cage. Inside the cage right here is where I'm filling it. Notice how my hand's nice and clean? Because I'm just scraping that grease and packing it right inside here. Okay? Alright, we're good. Now we're ready to put this all together. Put your inner wheel bearing in, right here. We're clean, so don't have the grease on your hands, because this should not have any grease on the rotor here. This should be, or gum, which it has it on right now. Hit in my grease seal in the back that I didn't have to buy because I taught you that really cool trick. Put that in. Just hit it nice and flush. Put this back on. And now, outer wheel bearing, washer, my adjusting nut, give it a spin, and then now we have to do the actual adjustment, which is going to be using a pair of channel locks. And it's real simple. Once you get it somewhat hand tight, I'm going to go grab it with my channel locks, and as I'm spinning it, I'm just going to be tightening this down. And I'm just making it snug, and you go both ways. Go back. So it's hand tight, you just go till it hits, put on your cage, cotter pin, grab your pair of dikes, flip it around. Now this is the way I like to do my cotter pins. I pull it over, I hit it down so it's flat, and then the other part that's remaining, just cut it off. Put my dust cap on that I tightened up with those pair of dikes earlier. Done.